So here I just have a sickle-shaped knife, which I'll be using, and I'll just cut down that whole plant. Okay, so now that we have our material collected, it is time to process it into something useful. And I'm going to start off with my wheat, my seeds, which I'm going to manually trim and separate the seeds from the stems. So now that I have the seed heads, I need to separate the seeds from the husks. And to do this, I'm going to utilize their difference in density. And now I'm going to carefully remove the husks. Okay, now I'm going to dry the seeds. However, before I do that, I'm going to save a small amount for a separate experiment. Now, what I also find interesting is that these seeds have a very high genetic diversity, as is common in most wild plants, which can be observed through the coloration and shape of each seed. Now, as for the seeds that I haven't killed by drying, I would like to plant them and see what comes of it. Here's what we have several days later. Now these sprouts can be eaten as microgreens, or if you have enough power and time, you could perhaps try to grow them into a full wheat plant. Now as for the fibers, I would like to turn them into something useful. For example, a broom. Next, I would like to see if I can turn this grain into a small piece of bread, for which I first need to turn it into some flour. And although using a mortar is much better for this, I don't have one, so I'll be using this rock. Okay, so now that the flour is ready, I need to add just a small amount of baking soda, sodium bicarbonate. Now here I have about 10 grams of flour, for which I need about 6 to 8 milliliters of water to turn it into dough. And as my taste enhancing additive, I'm going to add a little bit of salt. Okay, and now it is finally the time to cook it. Okay, so while it is still warm, let's give it a quick taste test. It tastes pretty good. Tastes like bread. Has a very rich taste, very starchy, and somewhat reminds me of potato bread. And it holds its structure together, as you can see. But I think baking it would turn out much better. So, as a summary, I think it is fair to say that nature always gives us its most abundant resources. And if we simply get creative with them, the amount of possibilities is virtually limitless. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed, and see you next time.